War does not become just because leaders say the enemy is dangerous. And it does not become necessary because fear is easier to sell than proof. I'm Bill Britt, and this matters. Iran is a hostile regime. It threatens Israel. It sponsors violence throughout the Middle East. And no serious person should pretend Iran is harmless. But that is not the question. The question is whether the United States had to go to war, not whether Iran is dangerous, but whether there was clear proof that war was the only reasonable choice. So far, that case has not been made. We were told there was nuclear threat, but concern is not proof. Suspicion is not proof. And saying Iran might one day build a weapon is not the same thing as proving it, proving that America had to strike right now. We were told shipping lanes had to be protected. But if shipping lanes were threatened after the shooting started, then that cannot be used as the reason the shooting started in the first place. That is how war expands. First comes the strike, then comes retaliation, and then comes the new justification for the next strike. And before long, leaders are no longer explaining why we went to war. They're explaining why we cannot stop. That is the danger. A government asking the people to accept war without evidence, without debate, and without a clear end. What is the mission? To stop a nuclear weapon? To punish Iran? To protect Israel? To protect American troops? To keep oil moving? To change the regime? Those are not the same mission. And leaders who blur those lines are not leveling with the country. Congress should not be silent. The Constitution did not give one president the power to drift the nation into war and call it strength. War requires evidence. War requires debate. War requires accountability, not slogans, not threats, not patriotic theater. If America is attacked, America must respond. If our forces are threatened, they must be defended. But war should never be justified after the fact by consequences that came after the attack. That is not strategy. That is escalation. The burden is not on the American people to trust blindly. The burden is on our leaders to prove that war was unavoidable. Not useful, not political, not popular, unavoidable. So far, they have not. I'm Bill Britt, and this matters to me. Does it matter to you?